day. Had hoped for one more after this, but you know, it's pretty much 4 o'clock and I kind of want dinner afterwards. Oh, is there? There's still a card and board thingy in here. Ooh. Need to remove all the paint and get rid of that cardboard, because that cardboard can attract fungus if it's wet. How did I miss this one? Usually that's the first thing I do when I grab a bottle. Just need to grab it. Ugh. Paint in my face. So anyway, final stream. A lot of things spray painted black, canvases. Some still need a coat. Needed a little bit more time because turns out my spray can was empty. Luckily I have a couple in stock, but did not count on that. Hopefully this is the final coat for Hammery. At least the final coat. Yeah, I think this should be the final coat for Hammery. After this stream, I'm going to prepare dinner. I made my own chameleon paint. You guys see it as blue. If you look up close, there's a yellow sheen over it because it's mixed with gold. Right, let's see what's ready to be painted again. Looks like the coins. Right, and I was hoping for Umi. How far along is Umi? Probably at the end of the stream. And how far along are you? Pretty much dry. Now it's going to be tricky because let's see, over here, just going to make a thinner dot. And Tsunami is done. Well, she needs to dry and then she needs to be dusted with pastels, but you know, done for this week. At least we finished one of them. These still need to be done. How far along are you guys? Still very chunky. I have a little bit of chunky paint over here. Need to spread it well, but hopefully it gets into the little holes that still are not completely filled yet. And perhaps I'm going to make these rainbow themed. But I don't want to do stereotypes. Coverage of this one is very nice. Need my stick because it's moving. And hello to you as well. Put my finger into paint again. Why do I keep doing that? This one is dry enough. And I think this one is ready to get some color. Maybe I should do elements. Elements is also quite stereotypical, I'm well aware, but this one reminds me of ice, so I'm probably gonna make a mishmash out of these. Why is there a hair in here? I did not request any hairs. The other ones are still too wet to dry. Paint everywhere again. I'm such a sloppy painter. This one was my good knife. So it can go back into the jar. Let's see. I don't want to do coins already, but it's starting to look like coins are the only thing I can do at the moment. Yeah, even the wings are already done. Well, I can give this a second coat. Need to spread this chunky paint very well. Yes, this is my OC, Miss Bunny. And she can be anything you want. We had her as a ballerina in her release. I'm working on the winter version. And she's also a diver. I try to be as accurate as possible with the diving materials. Mostly because I'm a diver myself as well. Or used to be. And I got very annoyed if people were inaccurate. But considering the size, I made it a bit more simplified. Okay. Probably gonna need a new rack soon enough. Try to use as little racks as possible because, you know, it's better for the environment to use as little as possible. Seriously? I missed a spot? Okay, let's start the eyes. Seriously, even if I had like 7 organizers here, it would be too little for me because I have stuff everywhere. Where is the ochre? Because I need a little bit more in the top. Sides are already done, but I accidentally messed up over here. Add a little bit of water. Add a little bit of nail. Because the paint I use is oil-based and dries very quickly. Should be able to fix it. It's a small part, so there we go. Otherwise I need to get my jar and I rather not, if needed, not needed. There we go. So this still needs to dry. The skin needs to be brown outline. Hair is going to be, I think I'm going to go for baby blue. I'm just going to try hand coloring this one. Probably a bit too dark, but we're gonna find out. And this is more dabbing on, so hopefully I need less coats. No, I'm probably gonna need a gazillion coats. Okay, this is not gonna work because the coverage is crap. And I consider it slightly too dark anyway. Just gonna mark the lid so I know which color it will be when it's dry. If you need translucent paint, this is fine, but I don't want the translucent paint. This is quite intensive. Ah! Abort! Abort! It looks better this way than with the marker line, but the markers dry a lot faster. But I know I don't have a marker with this color. Could also use acrylic markers instead of oil-based markers, but the oil-based ones just dry a lot faster. And little fun fact, Grasshopper is one of my oldest original characters. She belongs to the very first version of Forever Young, but her story got never written except in a little drawing around the year 2000, I think. Can't really recall, but she got her personality, her story in the Eternity series. And she will return in the Horizon series, which is going to be written after the Eternity series has been fully published, though it's more like a cameo. Whew. Hair almost done. And then there's a couple of more whitey points that need to be done. And this is indeed a misprint because one little line didn't get printed. But I'll do that, well, just like everything else, by hand. And it's fixed in the 3D print file. I'm not sure if Grasshopper is for next year or the year after. Okay, that should be all the white lines. And this is just a little bit boring, I'm well aware. Dry here. Well, I consider this one pretty much done and colored. These still have a little bit of blue on them. This one's done. Yep, this one has blue on the side. How's the sides of these? Fine. Fine. So two are already done. This one needs a little more. This one needs sides. Sides. Well, this needs at least another coat. This one needs at least another coat. A little bit more sides. Sides. It's pretty much just the sides. This one is the one I dropped on the floor, so that needs a new clean coat anyway. How's you, Eri? Yep, you're done. Just needs to dry through and through. This one needs sides. And this one needs sides. So let's put you guys over here. So I have a clean tray for the ones that still need a coat. Sneeze. And I try to be cautious and mute myself. I think I was in time. The thing with the mask painting is that you're working on a lot of projects at the same time. Well, that's to expect it. I mean, mask painting. But you'll also be done with a lot of projects around the same time. So currently it feels like no progress at all, but in a couple of weeks, it's probably going to be progress done, 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 and done. And hopefully by that time I have new 3D printables to be painted. This is hopefully the final coat. This one needs a lot more. I need to sometimes move my mouse. Otherwise it goes into sleep mode again. Still a shame I can no longer stream on Instagram because of new rules. You need 1,000 followers first. Well, I'm pretty much never gonna get that. That was a bit too rough. Sides mostly. So yeah, thanks Instagram. Just bought a setup. And now I suddenly can't stream anymore. How am I supposed to get 1,000 followers in a week's time or something like that? Unless I'm gonna buy followers. Which I'm, by the way, not gonna do. I don't need to live off this. I'm just doing this because I like doing it. Mostly the sides. And if you're hearing a hum, that's my air conditioning. Because it can come here pretty hot. Don't have it on full blast mode. It's probably gonna need a second coat for the sides. This one needs to dry on silicone, otherwise it's gonna get stuck. This one was just the sides. And that's probably gonna need a couple of coats. I consider this boring myself. Maybe you like it, like a craft with me session. Have me on the background. I had hoped I could do 4 streams, but my breaks were a bit longer than planned. So at least we managed to finish Tsunami today. And a couple of coins are already done, or at least ready for the next step. Maybe I'm going to use my new chameleon paint on these. I mean, I haven't used it yet. And I know, you better use it on black, but I want to see what it does on gold. Or maybe I'm still going to make certain parts black and then use the chameleon paint on there. And the final coin. There. Isn't that a waste then? First making it all gold? No, because this gold is mixed with thickening medium. So it makes things a little bit more smooth. Okay, that's the coins for today. It seems Umi is finally dry enough for another coat. Which is, by the way, not that much. That's cool. Wait, always use this one, not the little hole in the top, because that one can have bubbles in it. Oh, by the looks of this, I can check for Umi's eye color, because I still need to do the white and the eyes. And then she's done. And again, she looks awesome from a distance, and then you look up close and it's like, eee. All because of a failed print. Not many of my prints fail. I'm quite lucky. But most of my prints are just flat. I have a couple I want to do that are more 3D, and those need supports and all. Good white. I've yet to finish spraying a couple of canvases. Okay, this needs to dry. I think next week the final coat. And like I said, I need to check her eye color. I think it's blue. I'm not sure. Could be gray. I think it's gray, but that's memory. And I'm not very good at that memory thing. Right. I only have a couple of minutes, about 20 minutes left, and I want to do other characters. Oh, jar wasn't very attached. Turned out to be the perfect color for Ohio. Skin tone is going to need another layer, but something I'm going to do next week. Let this dry very well. Remember, there should be a stream next week, but the week after is my student again, so that means no stream. I'm always dabbing the color on the lid so you can see how it looks when it's dry. Bye. Ay, 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 ay. What's moving? Luckily, it doesn't end the stream. It just cuts out with my... I think this is the wrong blue. Oh, well. Committing now. Should have checked, but oh well. Committing now. It's now going to be a shade, darker shade, and maybe I'll do the correct color over it. Not sure yet. And of course, I could try to erase that part and do one, but who knows? Maybe this color looks better. I will do Ohio's hair color, eye color when I'm done with the skin. And I'm going to repeat this. If you want to support me but you have no means, please watch my stream on Twitch. Because if you watch them on Twitch and you watch the commercials, I'll get a little bit of that. And that's how you can support me, by just watching my streams. And the same goes for watching them later on, the recordings. They're up for a week. So that's a cheap and easy way to support me. Okay, you have electricity, unless you have solar panels, or you're watching it in the library or something like that. Let's do her hair. Oh, I thought there was something dark in my paint, but it was just a little bubble. I need the darker pink for Sutta. That should be this one. It is pretty much Suta's hair color. It's a bit tricky to get it with paint, but I think I'd like to think I did a pretty good job. Otherwise, it's my character, so I'm gonna decide if it's the right color. There was a drop of yellow in there. And aside the skin and the hair, everything else is pretty much done. So maybe next week I'm going to line it to see how far along she is. The red can use another layer. Maybe next week I'm going to try and match this color again, because I actually use it a lot. Didn't expect I would, but I'm really using it a lot. It dries nicely, flows nicely. Downside, I am running out of the paint I'm mixing with this, and it's no longer available. So while I love this color, I shouldn't use it too much, or at least be selective with what I'm going to use it for. Yellow. Managed to snag a second bottle of this because, of course, this paint is also discontinued. And I don't really use the other colors that much, but I really use the yellow a lot. And luckily I managed to get a yellow bottle. A bottle of yellow paint, by the way, not a yellow bottle. I was like, gee, this is going to last me forever, but nope, I think I've already emptied this part. like I said, next week is made a blend. Let's use the blend. Next week is going to be skin coloring. I managed to make a blend that is pretty much the same color as I have in a tube. I am that awesome. So next week is skin tones again, mostly. Hair. Made this blend myself. There's little dots in there, but I don't know why or how, but I like it because it gives the paint a little bit of texture. It doesn't make it as solid. And I know that Tama is of the final year, so will be a while. I can only sell these if the designs are released, in case I need to make pictures. Otherwise I need to repaint it high speed. Let's grab some of the chunky white. Managed to do 3 sessions with 1 rag. That's nice, that's nice. Her eyes were red, by the way. Okay, so all are done. Well, I've been looking forward to using a color again. Not sure if this one was mixed by hand or machine, but I'm going to mix it with machine. Can't recall where I used this color for, but when I made it, it was like, yep, this is Anzu all the way. Still the same batteries, by the way. This doesn't use a lot of battery. Ah! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of gunk in here, so this is all thick paint. I'm just going to put it back into the, well, water. Let's call it like that. now we can paint. Just the first layer. Probably gonna need a couple. The only downside is you can't see all of Anzu's tattoos in this outfit. This I was thinking about maybe her classic outfit where you can see more, but I made up this outfit 1-2 years ago, and I really like it. It's a very weird outfit, but sometimes you just have a, yeah, that's it. Oh wait, those are supposed to be red beads. Oh well, at least it has a base color now. Okay, so this is it for today. Did a lot of painting, new characters, old characters, lots of coins, a lot of painting, lots of spraying during my break, cleaning up, everything like that. So I'm gonna call it a day. Pardon me. Need to start cooking. And then I'll be seeing you again, if all goes well, next week. Bye bye. Where's my mouse? I'm missing my mouse. There you are.